For the first time in a long time, I'm making a video about Bitcoin crashing down from the all-time highs at $58,000. This morning reaching a low of $45,000. What is going on? Is it time to run for the hills? Is it time to call for the surrender? Buying more, we're buying the dip. We're looking for opportunities today. We're gonna talk about it right here in this video and all that fun stuff right now. Bitcoin down to the $45,000 area. Let's talk about it. What's going on, cryptocurrency fanatics, day trader degenerates, and all of you fun-loving, beautiful people out there that subscribe to my #1 day trading cryptocurrency channel on YouTube. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, well, you're missing out on all of the greatest and latest and bestest, and just you're missing out on a lot of fun stuff. So today, the price of Bitcoin, this is the hourly chart. You can see last night, or was that last night? No, this was last night. Last night, the price of Bitcoin at 55,000. It was at 58,000 just a few days ago, literally just like 2 days ago or 1 day ago, and it crashed down. Last night, going from 55,000 down there to $45,000. Nice little bounce back so far, that $45,000 area holding. We're going to look at the chart and kind of talk about why that $45,000 area is turning into support and why I identified that a couple days ago as well, saying that that $45,000 area would be a key area to watch for a pullback. Now, if we look on the let's look at the daily chart, see if it'll show up there. Okay, so on the daily chart, this is pretty good. $45,000 area, kind of where the bottom of these candles were closing on that daily candles. Those candles closed right there at that $45,000 area. That was that previous area of support when we got that breakout earlier this year, back at the beginning of February, when we broke above that previous high there at the $41,000 area. You can see Bitcoin just went to the moon from 38,000 to 46 that day, and it kind of pulled back, had a little bit of a bull flag there, and then made the rest of the move higher up there to the $58,000 area. Now, obviously, looking at these daily candles, those are some big old nasty daily candles. And I always say with anything, with stocks, with Bitcoin, and all that fun stuff, that the market or stocks like to take the stairs on the way up, and then they like to take the elevators on the way down. And these candles look a lot like elevators if I've ever seen an elevator before, because you can see how these little daily candles, we're getting these little $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 moves, and then boom, on these red days, we're going down, $10,000 on those red days. So it's interesting to see how that price action moves like that when we are selling off. And a lot of that, I think, comes from fear. And it also comes from kind of the market sentiment right now, which I kind of talked about before. What it really comes down to here is that you get a lot of new investors who have been sitting on the sidelines, who are waiting and watching, and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy the first crash. The first time that Bitcoin crashes, I'm going to buy it, right? I'm going to jump in, and I'm finally going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it up here, but I'm going to buy it when it starts crashing. And, well, Bitcoin crashes to, let's say it crashes from 58,000 down here to 52. Now, all those buyers that were sitting on the sidelines that bought at 52, it crashes to 47, and they're like, holy crap, I made a bad mistake. And then guess what? They start selling those positions that they bought at a higher price, because they're just, at that point, they just want to get out because they made a bad choice. They made a bad choice in their minds, at least, in their heads. So it's interesting, because I think that really kind of is what's in play right now. You get a lot of kind of newer investors that are buying up here at the tops, and when you do get these big crashes, they're the first ones to sell because, well, they bought here at the top, and now it's crashing down, and they want to get out, and they become fearful. And for me, it's the opposite. What I've been looking to do is look to buy any altcoins or any big movers that are down 20 to 30% on the day this morning. And we've had some really good opportunities for that. Like if you look, for me, I was looking at Litecoin this morning. Litecoin dropped huge. Recent high at the 245 area, pulled all the way down there to 150, 160 area. these past few days. So I've been looking to buy the dip on Litecoin, and you can see how you can see how that's playing out right now. Obviously, we're looking to buy that 150 to 120 area for dip buys, and that would be kind of my bullish dip buy. If we start to pull back below this 120 area and all that, it's a different story. You know, I'll still look to keep buying, but right now we're still in bullish pullback territory. Even though Bitcoin's down big, it's still bullish in the overall grand scheme of things. Because if you look here, when we pushed to that $42,000 high, we then pulled back to $30,000. We consolidated, and if you look, this took almost a full month before making a new high. So we basically broke above 40, up there to 41,000. Put a line on there just so you can see, up to that 41,000 area. And guess what? It took almost a month, a full month, which I know is crazy because it's so long, but a month of time of consolidating. It consolidated here at the $29,000 area and then rallied past that all-time high at the $41,000, $42,000 area. And, well, I don't want to say it's looking exactly the same, but it's looking similar in terms of this pullback here, and that's why we're watching this $45,000 area. $45,000 is our support. After that, I'm thinking $30,000 would be our next support on Bitcoin, and I'm not even going to talk about after that, because after that we're looking at, I'd say, $17,000, $20,000 area. So $17,000, $20,000 being like this might be the end of the world, and then $30,000 being like this could hurt, this could be really painful. But 45,000, we're like, hey, this is bullish, right? This is bullish in the grand scheme of things. You know, looking here at the daily chart, we've recently, back there, we'll say like January 1st. Let's look at January 1st. January 1st, we went from 27,000 up there to 57,000. So very realistic that this needed to pull back here at some point. I've been talking about it. Everyone's like, yeah, it's never going to pull back ever again. It's going to keep going higher and higher forever. And as much as I would like to believe that, I would like to believe that. I just don't know if that's the way that these things go. Now, you can see the moving average really is still far away from where we are. Now, that does not mean that the price is going to drop all the way down here to touch the moving average, but if this does pull back and consolidate for a month or two, this moving average would then move up closer to where the price is. So that's what we need now. We need some solid consolidation. The more consolidation that we get at these levels, the stronger the price action will be in the future, obviously. So we really need, some consistent, solid consolidation. Like I said before, that previous move to all-time highs of the $40,000 area pushed above 41 and then pulled back and took a month before making that next move higher. So don't, if you do buy the dip today, don't be like the first person trying to sell, because it might take some time. It might dip further. It might, take a little bit of time before the next rocket ship to the moon. I'm still fully confident that Bitcoin will go to the moon. I'm never going to put a time frame on that, obviously, but I think there's still very good possibilities here, very good opportunities to be made. It really comes down to your overall risk tolerance and being able to control the risk, being able to control the emotions that come from handling that risk as well. So we don't want any FOMO. We don't want any, any of that bad stuff. We want the good. And you can see, I talked about this the other day as well. This is the chart from 2017 when we started to make that move. We had very kind of similar chart setup. If you look going back here, 2017, this is the 2017 chart. Now, if you look at it like this, I'll show you exactly kind of where I think we are on the chart here. All right, so I put an arrow kind of depicting where I think we are in terms of the overall move, comparing the bull market of 2020, 2021, comparing that to the 2017 move when Bitcoin went from, $800 to $20,000. If you can see here, Bitcoin made a big move, it pulled back, it made another big move, and then it had another big pullback, and then finally it went off to the races and really started to take off from there. So you can see, even when it broke, these new highs at the 5,000 we're in the $5,000 area. It still had a big pullback, and obviously the pullback's going to be a little bit, larger on the chart now because we're playing in a bigger price range now. So that's what I'm seeing right now if I'm looking at this. So you see we had that big move, the pullback, the next big move, the pullback, and then off to the races. So that would pretty much put us on the second pullback of this kind of overall move from 2017. And if you look here at the 2021 move, that would be very similar for a pullback at this point, seeing that we've had this big move here. We had the pullback. Obviously, they're not going to line up perfectly, but this would be our kind of second big pullback in this overall move that we've had that started here in 2020 on Bitcoin and starting that bull market. So 48,000 right now, bouncing around, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens the next few days. Like I said, after that $45,000 support, really not much going on until about $30,000 in terms of support there. So I don't want to be, I don't want to be that guy, but hey, in terms of support, if we lose this $45,000 area. But you can see the one thing about these sell-offs is there has been some decent pushback. So the price yesterday went from 46,000, pushed all the way back out there to 54,000. So the buyers are stepping in there. The buyers are trying to push it back up. The bulls are trying to push it back up. And again, today we dipped down there to the 45,000 and we pushed right back up already to 49,000, almost $50,000. So we've got a lot of time left in this day. This candle could, push up here to the 52, 55. It could end up green by the end of the day. Who knows what's going to happen from here? But like I said, I'm looking to buy when the market is red. I'm looking to buy when the market is red, and I'm looking to sell when the market's green, or maybe never sell. I don't really. No, I'm going to sell someday, but I'm looking to buy the dip here at some point. But right now, we're experiencing what I believe is a bullish pullback. Bitcoin needing to pull back there and find some support and start to consolidate before going to the moon again. So Bitcoin, big sell-off today, but don't worry, we're still in it. We're still living. We're still ready to party, and we're still looking for the moon. We're not going to give up that easy. So if you guys haven't already, do me one big favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below.